Welcome to another edition of The Ride Home with John and Kathy, live from the Salem-Pittsburgh studios. And now, here are your hosts, John Hall and Kathy Emmons.
Well, good afternoon and greetings to you. Thanks for coming along today. Tuesday edition, another gorgeous day. Absolutely beautiful here in western Pennsylvania. Kathy, I see that you yourself are sporting a sundress.
I am. I was just trying to imagine that perhaps the three of us and our listeners were, picnicking or some other type of frivolity today.
Wouldn't it be nice to have a picnic on the roof here at 7?
No, because the roof is gross.
You've been there?
I've seen pictures of it.
I've been there.
And?
Well, it's just a roof.
Wasn't it gross?
Yeah, but
it was gross.
Well, it's just tar. It's tar covered. Well, like a lot of roofs are.
And you know that there's pools of indeterminate water up there, and we're not sure.
But I'm saying the views are spectacular. Spectacular.
Still.
Views of the city of Pittsburgh.
I'd rather look at a nice patch of grass and be in a good space than maybe to be on the roof of 7 Parkway.
Just trying to entice you to be way up high.
That's nice.
Looking out. What's happening here in the world?
Well, there does seem to be a lot of things in the news today.
Very much so.
I had to just run out of the room. We're here to get the printout of the top 4.
Very good. Yeah, well, we've got ourselves a jam-packed show here today. We're going to go to the phones a little bit earlier, a little later, I should say.
Yeah, well,
Chrissy threw her for a loop there.
Oh, just a little bit later. In only 5 minutes.
Yeah. Back in the office.
Yeah, we're going to talk about if you are.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're still working from home.
Right. I was just talking to Christy about working from home. A lot of people are still working from home. You look out here at our parking lot here at 7 Parkway Center, it's empty.
Paltry.
Yeah. News today that Apple employees are upset. The mandate goes into effect next week. 3 days back in the office for Apple employees, and a petition is circulating saying this is unfair. We are not wanting to come back into the office.
Cry me a river.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't mind being back in the office.
I don't mind it either.
Yeah. I prefer it. Christy, how about you? See you.
I love working from home. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we want to hear from you. We're going to open up the phone lines in 5 minutes.
Yeah, because you know what? Last week, was it last week already? Yeah, last week we went on the boat cruise.
Yep.
And people said to us, I used to listen to you guys every day on the ride home, but now I'm not doing the ride home. So a lot of times I don't, or I forget to, or I do, and it's a bit of a novelty. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. So we're interested in hearing from you. So stay by your phones and be part of the conversation.
All right, yeah. Why don't you join us and let us know what your 2 cents are about working from home.
800-320-8255 if you want to queue up.
Yeah. All right, Christy.
Christy says
she's
no, don't do
waving
that.
at us.
She's like, don't have them queue up.
Anyway, Kath, without further ado, please give us the top 4 at 4.
For Tuesday, sorry, Christy, August 23rd, 2022, number 1. You've heard about the murder, John, of Russian political commentator Daria Dugina, who was driving on a highway outside Moscow Saturday evening when explosives in her car detonated. Well, it's still not clear who set the bomb or why. Russian officials attribute the attack to Ukraine. Ukrainian leaders say it wasn't us because we're not murderers like you people. Ms. Dugina heartily supported the war in Ukraine, even going so far as to claim that the mass graves in Bucha were staged by Ukrainians to smear Russian troops. I found out today, John, that both the U.S. and the U.K. sanctioned her website back in March for spreading disinformation. But taking all those things into account, it's still possible that she wasn't the primary target of the attack because she attended a cultural festival featuring her father, Alexander, as a speaker earlier that day. And apparently he planned to be riding with her before switching cars at the last minute. Now, her dad is an anti-Western ideologue. He's a philosopher who argues that at all costs, Russia should oppose America and everything that America stands for. So it'll be interesting to see over the next days what comes out about that. Even if the Russian intelligence agency investigates it, I don't know. It's going to be hard to believe their findings because I have a feel. Because there's also an allegation that it was an internal thing, that it was an internal Russian thing, trying to find something to blame on the Ukrainians to get world opinion or Russian opinion behind them.
Right. Well, news is that Dennis Rodman's headed to Russia.
Oh, he'll work it out.
He'll get
That's
this,
excellent news.
he'll
I
work
can't
it
believe that
out.
wasn't one of my top fours.
Very good.
Number 2, according to the New York Times, between the National Archives, the Justice Department, and the FBI, John, the feds recovered more than 300 documents with classified markings from former President Donald Trump since he left office, including documents related to national security from the FBI, the CIA, and the NSA. Today's dispatch goes on to say that Mr. Trump went through the boxes of materials himself in late 2021 before turning some of them over. That's according to the New York Times report as well. And concerns he and his team were not being fully forthcoming with those agencies. That's what contributed to the execution of the search warrant at Mar-a-Lago. And while we're talking about that search warrant, the judge who signed it has issued an order instructing the Justice Department to propose redactions to the sealed affidavit explaining a lot of people in the public want to see exactly what it says. Number 3, the percentage of Americans who evaluate their lives poorly enough to be considered suffering on Gallup's Life Evaluation Index was 5.6% in July, the highest since the index's inception.
What?
Yes, this exceeds the previous high measured in April and statistically higher than all prior estimates in the COVID-19 era. The percentage of U.S. adults estimated to be quote-unquote thriving has steadily declined since it reached a record high in June of 2021. And number 4, happy to bring you a weird animal story.
Bring it.
New research people from Japanese scientists suggest that a dog's eyes may well up with tears of happiness when reunited with their owner after a period of absence.
Crying dogs.
The tears may help cement the bond between humans and dogs. And that's your top 4.
I've never seen a dog cry. Have you?
Well, you weren't paying attention.
Well,
no, I've never had
multiple.
either.
And I've been away for, when you are away.
Okay, well, interesting that you would say that because they measured tears in dogs in a bunch of different scenarios. Okay. But the only one that produced this type of happy tears, if you're a Doctor Who fan out there, he calls it humany woomany, like who cries when they're happy? Only humans.
Right.
It's not just humans because dogs do it. That's the only time that they found this type of tears.
Tears of joy from a canine.
Isn't that sweet?
I love it. Very
This professor in Azubu University in Japan wanted to investigate dog tears after watching his 2 standard poodles when they had puppies.
Yeah, they were crying.
Yeah, well, he noticed that the mom's eyes got teary when she nursed her puppies. And so he found that dogs shed tears associated with positive emotions.
Interesting. Animals are amazing.
Aren't they?
Not? Yes, they are. Very much so.
I mean, if we just open our eyes and pay attention, we can see a lot of amazing things.
Yeah, you surely do. Yeah. Anyway.
Let's go to the phones. What do you say?
All right. Here we are. Kath and I and Christy, we are here at 7 Parkway Center. We have showed up dutifully every day, right? Surrounded by a stalwart group of broadcast professionals and sales figures here in the studio. And we've been doing this. We've been back for a long, long time.
Since last June.
And many other people never left. We were kind of like the outliers, right?
Yeah, some people worked here throughout all of COVID.
Right.
Never worked from home.
I think everybody in my family, close and extended. Let me see. Oh, I've got a niece who works for the PG. She may be the only one who I know who's working from home. But everybody else, various jobs, is either at the office or doing what they do. I think it's a good thing.
I think it's a good thing, but a lot of people don't think it's a good thing. Christy being one of those people. Christy, if you had your druthers,
I would work. Listen, I wouldn't mind going in like 2 days a week.
2 days.
That would be your ideal.
Yes.
We'd see you 2 days a week. Hey, there's Christy
Look,
here.
there she is.
Hey, how you doing?
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess the question is, are you currently working from home? Do you enjoy it? Or if you're not working from home, would you rather work from home? What do you think?
Yeah, I'd like to just hear, how are you currently working?
Yeah, okay. All right. How are you currently working?
Are you working from home? Or are you working in the office?
800-320-8255, 800-320-8255. Give us a call. We're here. We are in the office, and we're
But a lot
curious
of
about
people
your work
don't wanna be.
status. No, a lot of people don't want to be here.
So this was brought to mind in today's Wall Street Journal because there's an article about Apple, which you mentioned a couple of minutes ago, John.
A group of Apple employees protest the company's 3-day-a-week office policy. Some of the tech giant's workers have signed a petition for more flexible working arrangements ahead of next month's mandated return to the office. All right.
So they've been at home the whole time. They're going to have to go back 3 days a week, and people are protesting, saying that's way too much.
Too bad, so sad. I don't know.
Cry me a river.
Well, look, wait, no one's calling here, so hello, are you there?
I'm surprised.
Maybe you're too busy working.
Yeah, 800-320-8255.
All right, we'll take a quick break.
Part of the
Join us. Be part of the conversation. Yeah, I'll be back in just a few minutes. Hope that you are as well. 800-320-8255. What are your thoughts about working from home, remotely, in the office?
101.5 WORD.
There are 3 ways of dealing with the Bible, especially when you come to a passage that you don't quite agree with or understand. The first tactic is to pick and choose what you want to believe. The second is to remain ignorant of what the Bible has to say at all. The third is to dig into the Word and try to understand all of it, whether or not you like what it has to say. Well, if you fall into that last category or would like to, please join us this week on Through the Bible Radio.
This evening at 9 p.m. on 101.5 WORD.
Texting enrolls for automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
Are you ready to retire? Inflation is picking up, the markets are volatile, and the dream of a comfortable retirement is harder to attain than ever before. The stock market goes up and down is beyond your control. But you're at a point in your life where you can't afford to make big financial mistakes. I'm Al Labaroa, founder of Knight Strategic Wealth. Our investment strategy allows you to go up with the stock market, lock in your gains, and when the stock market goes down, your investment won't lose a dime. This works for your investments, savings at a brokerage firm, or even money at a bank. It's simple, it's safe, and that's why savvy investors work with us. Want to learn more? Text free to 833-898-0500, and we'll send our retirement readiness kit directly to your phone right now. If you want to help build a retirement portfolio that will go up with the market and literally never lose money, get our retirement readiness kit today and see how this strategy can help secure your future. Text free to 833-898-0500. Text free to 833-898-0500.
I think we can all agree that every moment at Eden shaped us and impacted who we are right now.
The faith modeled by teachers at Eden Christian Academy has a profound impact on students' lives.
We carry with us more than the academics, but a strong, Christ-centered foundation.
I would just like to thank my teachers, my mentors, my family members, and my friends who have done the best they could to help me in this next phase of my life.
Eden Christian Academy, enrolling pre-K through 12th grade at EdenChristianAcademy.org.
Our little brother says the word dodo word 40 times a day. Should we be saying that word on Word FM? You started it. Okay. So, here we are with Uncle Ryan with 3 reasons why you'd be a tweet if you bought a home this year and didn't use us at United Faith Mortgage.
The biggest reason is our direct lender advantage. We use our own money.
And there's no middleman, which means
we can often get you a better rate, saving you monthly and lifelong money.
We also pay $1,000 of your closing costs on all new home purchases.
And just as important to me as saving listeners money is the super service part. Our small team is specifically committed to Word FM. You will not get to a closing and find anything hidden. It's a partnership all the way around.
So, don't via, and we're done. We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Mortgage Corp, Melville, New York. NMLS number 1330. Pennsylvania Department of Banking and Securities. Mortgage lender license 22672.
How are you working?
Hard.
Some people say, "Where are you working?" or "Why?" No. We want to know, based on the Wall Street Journal article today, on the front page. How are you working? Mm-hmm. Are you working from home? Are you going into the office? And whatever you're doing, how do you feel about it? Do you wish you were doing the other thing? Do you like it? And is it different than what you were doing during COVID? 800-320-8255. Eager to talk to all of you out there. So be a part of the conversation. 800-320-8255. Who do we go to first,
all right.
John?
Kathy, you're with us live.
Kat, what a nice name.
Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, nice name, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it.
All right, Kath, what are you doing?
We are actually working hybrid right now, so we're in the office 2 days a week and home 3 days a week.
Nice.
And did that start during COVID or was that in place before?
No, that was in place because of COVID. I started with the company actually 2 weeks before COVID started. And then we were home for, we were home for a good couple months, working remote completely. And then we just recently went to 2 days a week just this year.
Into the office.
And what do you think of it?
Into the office. I like going into the office. I work far from the office, so that's kind of a pain. It's been a lot easier working from home just because you can get up later, you don't have the gas money, all that. Mm-hmm. But it is nice to be able to see the people and create teams and, foster relationships with people. When you're home, it's a little different, and there's a lot of other things, because when you're home, you're like, oh, I can throw a little laundry in. Oh, the dog needs out again. That kind of thing.
Right.
And did you have to set up an independent, select workspace in your house?
I have one, not that I use it. I do have one. I mean, they didn't supply it. They supplied me with all the technology that I needed, but I had my own desk and my own space already.
Right.
But usually I'm just, on the couch, which is also bad because the TV's right there.
So how weird was that to be a new employee and really not know your coworkers? Did you feel disconnected? Do you still feel disconnected?
It was very difficult the first year. I did feel very disconnected because 2 weeks was not enough time, and it was a brand new position. No one knew me. No one really knew what I was supposed to be doing. So that part was definitely difficult. Now that we're back in the office 2 days a week, it's easier because you get to see people. But still, the company that I'm in, there's a lot of diversity. There's a lot of people doing other things. So even though we're supposed to be there 2 days a week, not everyone doesn't show up those exactly. We're supposed to be there Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But depending on other people's schedules and the things going on, they still may not be there. So it's still kind of hard.
That sounds very complex.
Okay, thanks for your phone call,
Yeah,
Kath.
Kath, that's good stuff. Yeah, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Yeah, 800-320-8255.
Kath sounds like the kind of person who's going to make it work regardless of where she is.
Very flexible, very much. All right, so the question is what?
Where and how are you working? Are you working from home? Are you working in the office? And is this a new thing since COVID? And do you like it? Or do you wish you were doing a little bit more of the other thing?
Right.
800-320-8255.
Back to the phones we go. And Danielle, you're live with Kath and myself. Tell us your thoughts about where you are and how you're working.
Hi, guys. I actually work from home. It is new since COVID. But like your previous caller, I had started my job 6 weeks prior to everyone being sent home.
Wow.
So I was a fairly new employee when we were sent home. But over the course of the first year, it was determined that our team worked so well from home that they let us do that permanently if we wanted to. We have the option of going into the office, but I chose to work from home because I love it. I always wanted a job where I could work from home. And when I started this one, I knew it was a great company to work for and everything. And my only thing was, I really would like to work from home. And then 6 weeks later, I was. So that was fun.
Nice.
So do you ever think, I wanted to work from home, but I didn't realize it was going to be like this, and so you long to go back?
No, I really don't. I know there are a lot of people who do, but I have a dedicated office space set up at home, so I'm not sitting in front of the TV. And when I walk into my office, I feel like I'm at work, so there's none of that. Missing the employee interaction, the coworker interaction, I do miss that. But at the same time, where I was, it was a lot of interruptions because, you were sitting in a cubicle and people were walking by and all that. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I'm so much more productive here. And I actually just had my annual review today, and my supervisor agrees. So, I think it's working well for me. And I know not everybody is the same, but it's working well for me.
Right. Okay. Are you working less, do you feel, or more because it's there in front of you all the time?
More. I try to be very, have boundaries with my work. I'm not running up on a Saturday afternoon just to check email or anything like that.
Right.
But I find that, I can just get up and go to work, and I don't have to do the whole getting ready process unless there's a Zoom meeting that, you have to look decent for, at least from the waist up. And so I feel like I can get more in, but in less time, because the office is 45, 50 minutes away from me, too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting an hour and a half back from my day. So I figure if I spend a few extra minutes at work, it's not a big deal, you know?
And what kind of work do you do?
I'm in insurance.
Okay.
So, but it's not, I'm not customer facing. So that's the whole reason why we can work from home.
Excellent.
Got it. Okay. Thanks for your call.
Very nice.
800-320-8255. How are you working? Are you working from home? Are you working in the office? Is this new for you since COVID? And do you like it? Or do you wish you were doing the other thing? Or you think maybe you were better at the other thing? 800-320-8255.
So both Kathy and Danielle like working from home.
Yep.
Seem pretty content and very productive as well. Right? The commute. That's the big thing, isn't it? All right, let's go back to the phones. And Peggy, hey, Peg, thanks for being with us. What are your thoughts on working from home?
Okay, I have no choice. I'm a nurse, and I do private duty.
Oh.
So I work with people in their homes. And I wanted to be a nurse all my life. When I was 30 years out of high school, I went to nursing school.
Wow.
I'm 80 years old right now,
What?
and I still work 3 days a week, maybe once in a while 4.
Go, Peg.
Depends on, you know. But I love it. I love it. I wouldn't want to leave. I just, like I said, I always wanted to be a nurse. And one-on-one, I'm with my patients for 8 hours, and I just do what they need to be done. And
Peg, that is awesome.
Fabulous. No, Peg, now what about you driving around? I mean, here we are. It's nice. It's summertime now. But in all kinds of weather, you're still going out in snow and sleet and rain and whatnot.
Well, 2 days a week, Monday and Friday, I work 3.5 miles from home.
Okay.
That's my one boy. And the other one is like 13 miles from home.
Okay.
That's Tuesday. I'm on my way home now. I just pulled over so I can talk to you guys.
Thank you.
But it's, you know, it's fine. Like I said, the one through takes me 10 minutes to get there. So, but you know, and when they have an open shift, you know, I will take it if I can't physically work 3 days in a row. I'm too old and got arthritis and all that junk.
Yeah.
But like I'll work 2 days, be off a day, and work 2 more, whatever
Excellent.
they need. But
And retirement is not in your future?
I can't afford it right now. Social Security doesn't pay anything, so I have to work probably till I'm 90.
Keep going, Peg.
Yeah.
Peg, I'm loving you. That is awesome. Thank you for your phone call.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
800-320-8255. We only have a couple minutes left in the segment, but if you'd like to get in, we'd love to hear how you're working. Are you working from home? Are you working from the office? Is this a new thing for you? Do you like it? Do you miss doing the other thing?
You know,
800-320-8255.
when we were working from home,
Which was a year and a couple
of months.
Right. Maybe 15 months, 16 months?
It made me anxious to not be in the office.
Yeah, why? What was
Well,
that?
because I wanted to be surrounded by. I wanted to know what was going on at the office.
Yeah.
Because people were here and we weren't there, and I was like, "Oh, we're out of the loop. We don't know I don't understand what's happening here."
Yeah.
I believe that you and I both independently continue to work really hard. And I think maybe our workday stretched around the clock 24/7.
It did. That was the problem for me. When I was asking the question, do you like it?
Yep.
It was very convenient working from home. And I made great dinners because I was able to, like, you know, I'd go down at the 5 o'clock news break and, like, you know, do a thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, stirred. Yeah. So I had great dinners, no gas, all of that. But the biggest problem is I just worked all the time.
All the time, yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
I never stopped working. It'd be 11 o'clock. I'd still be working. I'd want to do one more thing. It's just, I didn't feel like it was healthy for me.
Well, whatever's happened, clearly there's been a sea change, a shift here.
A forever change.
I think so, right?
I think so too.
And the weird thing is, you look at office buildings, they're still being built. And I believe that even before the pandemic, there was already an office glut. So what do you do with all these office buildings now?
I don't
Whether
know.
it's downtown or in the suburbs, they're everywhere. And look, here, Parkway Center, we know. I mean, there's nobody here. I mean, people are just working elsewhere. There's one other company across the hall from us who's here, but other than that, the entire floor is empty. And you never see anybody on the elevator. The little cafe on the first floor, they went out of business. Those poor people. So the whole thing is upside down. I don't know. I miss it. I do. I miss like the old days.
I do kind of miss all the hustle and bustle of people being around all the time.
Right.
And I guess we're just never going to go back to that.
No, I mean, you see photographs of, downtown Pittsburgh. It's a ghost town. And what it used to be, well, not that long ago, even 10, 20, 30 years ago, it was packed.
Yep.
I don't know. It's a really odd place to be in.
It sure is.
All right, take a quick break. Come back.
Coming back this week in Pittsburgh history, digging begins for something really remarkable here in Pittsburgh. We'll talk about it next.
When it's time to replace your roof, siding, gutters, and downspouts, entry doors, and, of course, windows, you can count on Windows R Us, the area's premier exterior replacement company. This is John Steigerwald. With over 50 years' experience in the home remodeling industry, Windows R Us offers repair and replacement for all your exterior home projects. Why pay double with some other companies? Windows R Us will always give you the best price on the best in-class products, backed by the best warranties in the industry, all with zero sales pressure. And speaking of zero, right now, get zero interest financing for 12 months and no processing fee with prices set to increase on all exterior products. Lock in your quote today. Schedule a free estimate and inspection today at WindowsRUsPittsburgh.com. You've tried the rest, now try the best. WindowsRUsPittsburgh.com.
Windows R Us. You've tried the rest, now try the best.
This is Kathy Emmons. John and I are grateful for the encouragement we have from all of our advertisers, and especially our friends at Grove City College. Thanks to everyone at Grove City for supporting The Ride Home.
A moo-moo here and a moo-moo there. Here a moo, there a moo, everywhere a moo-moo. Hi there, it's me, Marcia from the Spring House, inviting you out to our real working dairy farm in 84, Pennsylvania. Not only will you enjoy watching the heifers in the field and the baby calves in the mini barnyard, but you should also come hungry for our fabulous farm fresh cooking. Step inside the Spring House for hot roast beef sandwiches, turkey and stuffing, hickory smoked ham, stuffed cabbage rolls, real mashed potatoes, and a whole lot more. A different menu each day. The locals tell their friends that our famous chocolate milk is the official drink of the Spring House. And be sure to save room for apple pie, ho-ho cake, Oreo cheesecake, or lots of other from-scratch goodies for dessert. Have I made you hungry yet? Let us share a little of our farm with you at the Spring House, 724-228-3339 or springhousemarket.com. 724-228-3339 or springhousemarket.com.
The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help troubleshoot the likely cause of your pesky check engine light for free and help you save time and money down the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
101.5 WORD-FM Pittsburgh. On your smart speaker by saying, play the word Pittsburgh. And on your phone via the Word FM mobile app, iHeart, TuneIn, and Odyssey.
When the doctor told us about my mom's cancer, it made me feel so helpless. Until I called the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and spoke with Grace, who answered all of my questions about the disease, treatment options, and cancer-related expenses. Her support and compassion made us feel whole again. Today, I'm calling Grace to let her know my mom is beating cancer. To learn more, visit lls.org.
Mainly clear skies expected for tonight. We'll see fog late and a low of 59. Mostly sunny tomorrow. That fog will lift in the morning. Then it'll be pleasant for the afternoon. We'll reach a high of 82. A starlit sky for tomorrow night with a low of 60. For Thursday, mostly sunny skies and a high of 84. Friday, intervals of clouds and sun with widely separated thunderstorms at a high of 82. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm forecaster Drew Shannon.
I've gone through the Fort Pitt tunnels headed inbound toward downtown Pittsburgh literally thousands of times in my life.
Me too.
Coming out from the other end and seeing the vista of the city before you.
Beautiful.
It never gets old, right? It's always like, oh, look, I mean, you enter in with the green hills, and then you exit out into urban splendor. It's just fascinating. There are very few places in the world who have something like this. Today marks a big anniversary for that vista.
Yes, so today is the day that they started building. They started digging, actually. The building hadn't started yet for those 4 pit tunnels.
Can you believe this? Okay, so Joe Barr and Renaissance One, David L. Lawrence, all these people got together and thought, the Smoky City no longer fits Pittsburgh. And so we're going to do something to change what that looks like. And the engineering prowess of digging a tunnel under Mount Washington, I said through Mount Washington.
To me, it's like every tunnel it's incredible hubris for a human to think that they can do that.
I just love it.
And then look at what happens.
I know. I mean, you think about these guys because, World War II was not that far in the rearview mirror, and all the engineering skills that were learned in World War II came to fruition in urban America. I mean, here's the weird thing. I would imagine the first car that drove through Fort Pitt Tunnel in some way probably went 15 miles an hour.
The first car, it was a vintage car. It had Mayor Joseph Barr, and behind him, waving his hat, Governor David L. Lawrence.
There they go. They put the money together, the coalition.
That was 1960, by the way.
Holy smokes. Have you ever broken down?
I've never broken down in the tunnel. I've been around people who've broken down in the tunnel.
Oh, boy.
And
run out
have
of gas.
shaken my fist at the heavens when it's happened. What are you going to do?
Nothing. You can't
There's
do anything.
nothing you can do. So this is chronicled in Pittsburgh Magazine.
Yep.
So if you are a member, or you can just go to pittsburghmagazine.com, I think, and read this article. I think it's open for anyone. You got to look at the photographs because it's just, like I said, it's so, you have to have such incredible engineering competence to be able to imagine something like this. How much do you think the construction of the tunnels cost in 1957?
$6 million.
$17 million.
Okay. All right.
Okay. How long do you think it took?
A year and a half?
3 years.
Okay. Holy smokes. I mean, I still, even driving home to this day, I'll get behind people or be next to people holding their cell phones out of their car windows, sort of, chronicling their drive through the tunnels.
Yeah, I do see
it's
that.
Like tourism.
Yep, it is.
It's very cool.
And it's a good thing.
Yeah,
anyway.
Well, happy anniversary, Fort Pitt Tunnels. Right?
We love you.
At the same time,
what's your favorite tunnel?
This tunnel. Yeah,
okay.
Fort Pitt.
Yeah, mine too. Least favorite tunnel?
Squirrel Hill tunnels.
Of course.
People are going 10 miles an hour.
Worst. The absolute worst.
Built around the same time.
Yeah. One works and the other one doesn't.
We're going to talk about water next.
101.5 WORD.
Okay, everybody in the car.
Where are we going, Daddy?
On an adventure.
Yay!
Adventures in Odyssey. It's not just a kid's show, it's a show the whole family can enjoy. Listen on this station.
Adventures in Odyssey, tonight at 8 on 101.5 Word FM, WORD.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
MyPillow's having their biggest sheet sale of the year. Hey, this is John Hall. You've all helped build MyPillow into this amazing company. And now, Mike Lindell, inventor and CEO, wants to give back exclusively to his listeners. The percale Percale bedsheet set is available in a variety of colors and sizes, and they're all on sale. For example, the queen size is regularly priced at $89.98, but is now only $39.98 with our listener promo code. Order now, because when they're gone, they're gone. The Percale sheets are breathable, have a cool, crisp feel. These come with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. There's a limited supply, so be sure to order now. Call 1-800-391-0954. Use promo code WORD. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener square, use the promo code WORD.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Is your marriage getting the time it deserves?
Life gets in the way too much.
We need to make this a priority.
To remember why God made this design.
Join us in Pittsburgh, September 23rd through the 25th, or in Akron, October 14th through the 16th.
To have this time so that we can work on our marriage is such a blessing.
Register today and save 50% through September 19th at weekendtoremember.com.
You have to know that when you go to your kitchen sink or your bathtub or shower and you turn on the faucet, you have to know what an incredible miracle it is that clean, fresh water flows from that tap. Around the world, it's shocking to think that there are still millions and millions of people who do not have that same opportunity that you and I have. Joining us right now from Water Mission is Jan Smith. Water Mission is an organization, a Christian engineering nonprofit that designs, builds, and implements safe water, sanitation, and hygiene solution for people in developing countries. And Jan, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be with you, and I am grateful to speak about my passion.
Yeah. Well, Jan, I think it's wonderful that that's your passion. It was probably almost 10 years ago that I went to Central America the first time, and it was the very first opportunity I'd had to be for any length of time, and I was probably 12 hours only without water. And it seemed, Jan, like I was without water for 10 weeks. I mean, I could not believe what an impact it was. Thinking about it is not the same as experiencing it.
I can understand that. I hear you.
Yes. So, Jan, talk to us about the Water Mission and your involvement. I know you and your husband, Greg, are deeply involved. You've been many places around the world. Tell us about your involvement and why you choose to be part of this.
Oh, great. Yes, my husband, Greg, and I are volunteer advocates for Water Mission, and we live in the Pittsburgh area. And we've been with Water Mission as a volunteer since like 2008 or 9.
Nice.
Wow. For a long time, my interest in international water charities, I had an awakening moment 25 years ago in an airplane when we were on our way to Costa Rica, and we were sitting there very comfortably. We touched down in Guatemala City, and my husband and I looked out the window, and we looked underneath the runway, and there was a squatter's village. And it was the kind of thing where one hut is holding up the next one, holding up the next one.
Yep.
And I said, wow, I've never seen anything like this in the United States. It sure looks different than poverty in the United States. And while giving back was really important to me, I knew from that moment that it would be international, because the need that I saw out of that airplane window 25 years ago said that was the place where I should be working. And we realized that water is so fundamental. If you don't have clean water to drink, you aren't going to be able to hold a job because you're going to be ill. Your children are endangered for their very lives. It was water is so fundamental that's why we chose water.
Fabulous. I mean, Jan, it's amazing to think that people are still dying of cholera in this world. That, in the places that I've been to, like yourself, you visit third world countries and you see children playing in dirty water, defecating in dirty water, and at the same time, people are using that dirty water to drink and to cook food. Talk to us about Water Mission and the work that is being done to ensure that clean water is flowing in third world countries. How does this work for you?
Well, Water Mission, of course, obviously I'm totally on board that they're awesome. They, I'll tell you one thing that they really understand and get, that sustainability is like so fundamental. And there was just a wonderful moment for Water Mission earlier this year. They said, let's go back to one of the earliest projects that we did 20 years ago in Honduras, and let's just see what's happening today, because that's like the proof of the pudding here is how they're doing after 20 years. So they went back to one of the first projects that they had done in Honduras, and voila, it is still working. The people are still getting clean water from the system that was put in 20 years ago. They had kind of forgotten that it was Water Mission, but, that's okay. It was still working. So one of my favorite things is that they really understand that you don't just drill a well and, say, oh, this is great, and we're out of here. They provide tools for people to work together to make this keep working, for decades into the future.
Interesting. So, Jan, there's obviously, you think about the United Nations and the work that's being done, many other aid organizations around the world who are helping the same way in many ways as Water Mission does. But Water Mission is a Christian organization. So what does water and Jesus have in common? How does that work in the ministry?
Well, I can tell you their basic that's used to bring safe water, it's called the LWTS, Living Water Treatment System. So Water Mission is very clear that when they're bringing safe water, that this is the living water in Jesus' name that we are bringing to you so that you have a fulfilling life. We are doing this in Jesus' name, and then the living water treatment system kind of says it all.
We're talking to Jan Smith. We're talking about Water Mission, which is an organization that she's been involved with for a long time. Water Mission is a Christian engineering nonprofit that designs, builds, and implements safe water, sanitation, and hygiene solutions for people in developing countries and in disaster areas. Jan, that same trip I took to Central America, another thing that I had no concept of is what a time commitment it is for people who are not around safe water to find water, to get water. And you said it's difficult for people to work because they're sick. Often it's also, in my experience, seeing people who don't have time to work because they're too busy spending hours walking to get water.
Absolutely. People often walk 3 miles each way to get not to get safe water, to get dirty water, actually. And they don't have time. It's often children, and they often don't have time to go to school. And these children, they're carrying water. It's like 40, 50 pounds of water. So, I mean, it's a physical difficulty. I mean, the children hardly weigh that themselves. So, I mean, it's you're absolutely spot on that people don't have time to go to school, to lead their lives. Just not only from the health point of view, but from the time point of view. Absolutely, you are correct.
in the pursuit of clean water. You know, our street, there's some weird thing happening with our street. But from time to time, I've lived in the same house for almost 20 years. From time to time, there's a water main break on our street. And all of a sudden, like the water just disappears. And so it takes, a day or so for the water authority to show up. They dig up the street. They dig down into it. They fix the pipe. This has probably happened 3 or 4 times in the 20 years we've lived there. And despite being an inconvenience, it's also kind of shocking in a way of whenever you kind of go, okay, now I went out and bought a case or 2 of water to sustain us. How conscious, how aware I am of the preciousness of one bottle of water. And I'm like, telling my kids, don't be wasting your water, you guys. We're not going to go back out and get more water. And of course we could, but I did think it highlights, Jan, how precious water is around the world and how here in America, and of course in first world countries, we just, take it for granted that we turn on the tap and the water's always going to be there. But that's, as we said in the very beginning of our conversation, is not the case still for millions of people worldwide.
Yeah, and there's a second really important component to that, and that is sanitation. A third of the people don't have safe water in the whole world to drink.
A third.
But you know that half the people in the whole world don't have a proper toilet.
Oh, my gosh.
And so one of the things that Water Mission does, because that is part of the whole water and sanitation and hygiene solution, is having adequate sanitation for people to use. It's pretty shocking at how few people have decent toilets.
Really? Half the people in the world.
Yeah, that's shocking.
That is really shocking. Holy smokes.
Yep.
Jan, talk to us about Walk for Water.
Okay, I'm all over that one because, people want to know how can they make a difference themselves.
Yes.
And I can tell you it is participating in the September 24th Walk for Water in Millvale at 9 a.m. And I definitely want to let you know the web address on how to find this. I don't know whether this is a good time or maybe the end of the show.
No, you go right ahead, Jan.
Okay.
And we'll put it up there.
It is www.walkforwater, just those 3 words together, .com/Pittsburgh. And, I'd also like to share that we do have some incentives for people to register for this. Water Mission is so blessed to have the backing of some professional athletes. Okay, and Teddy Bluger of the Penguins has so generously volunteered a autographed team jersey.
Cool.
And if you go on that website that I just mentioned and register for the Walk for Water on September 24th, you will be in a lottery for that jersey. So I think that's a great incentive. I can tell you a second professional athlete is Sean Casey. He is totally on board. He loves Water Mission. He's been involved. And so he, too, I'm really so pleased to report, is a proud supporter of the Walk for Water in September.
Fabulous. Well, Jan, we honor your work here with Walk for Water, the work that you and your husband are doing, the volunteer work, and for the thousands of people invested in the work that's being done with Water Mission to ensure that people have clean water to drink and sanitation as well. It's a very tall order, but every little bit helps. So the event, the walk that's coming up, and the website, we'll post that information on our Facebook page. The people can step forward and be part of this as well. So thank you, Jan, for your advocacy and your time here.
All right. You were very welcome. It was a pleasure and an honor.
The Walk for Water is coming up September 24th in Millvale. You can find out more information at walkforwater, those 3 words.com, walkforwater.com/Pittsburgh.
Texting enrolls for automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
Are you ready to retire? Inflation is picking up, the markets are volatile, and the dream of a comfortable retirement is harder to attain than ever before. The stock market goes up and down is beyond your control. But you're at a point in your life where you can't afford to make big financial mistakes. I'm Al Labaroa, founder of Knight Strategic Wealth. Our investment strategy allows you to go up with the stock market, lock in your gains, and when the stock market goes down, your investment won't lose a dime. This works for your investments, savings at a brokerage firm, or even money at a bank. It's simple, it's safe, and that's why savvy investors work with us. Want to learn more? Text FREE to 833-898-0500, and we'll send our retirement readiness kit directly to your phone right now. If you want to help build a retirement portfolio that will go up with the market and literally never lose money, get our retirement readiness kit today and see how this strategy can help secure your future. Text FREE to 833-898-0500. Text FREE to 833-898-0500.
MyPillow's having their biggest sheet sale of the year. Hey, this is John Hall. You've all helped build MyPillow into this amazing company. And now, Mike Lindell, inventor and CEO, wants to give back exclusively to his listeners. The Percale bedsheet set is available in a variety of colors and sizes, and they're all on sale. For example, the queen size is regularly priced at $89.98, but is now only $39.98 with our listener promo code. Order now, because when they're gone, they're gone. The Percale sheets are breathable, have a cool, crisp feel. These come with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. There's a limited supply, so be sure to order now. Call 1-800-391-0954. Use promo code WORD. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener square, use the promo code WORD.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
The most beautiful things in life start small, from a single seed. At Bedner's Farm and Greenhouse, with the aid of warm sun, fertile soil, and expert hands, those seeds blossom into gardens of fresh produce, delicious wines, and beautiful landscapes. Here at Bedner's Thriving Family Farming Garden Center, you'll find everything you need to inspire your own homegrown happiness. Bedner's Farm and Greenhouse in McDonald, making the world beautiful since 1917 at bednersgreenhouse.com.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, beat the largest timeshare company in federal court and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-491-6161. That's 800-491-6161.
What does a black hole sound like?
I didn't know it sounded like anything until today.
Well, there's been a myth about sound in space, that there is no sound in space. It's a popular misconception. Now, NASA recorded the sounds from a black hole more than 13 years ago, but they've been remixing this sound, and they released the audio of this, which we're going to play for you, this black hole from Perseus. 240 million light years away from the Earth. So it's a bit of a travel to get that sound. But NASA, being NASA, was able to capture this sound. They had to remix it through some sort of scientific thing that I don't understand, that's too deep to go into.
Right. So apparently the frequencies were so low that they were not audible to a human ear.
Right.
But they were able to be detected on equipment.
Yes.
And so they have produced it in a way that is hearable for us.
Yes. So here's the sound of the black hole from Perseus. Okay, that's scary.
That's super creepy.
That's not what I expected.
I haven't heard it before now.
Yeah, it's not what I expected. I mean, can you imagine if you were in space and that's what you heard all the time? You'd be like totally creeped out all the time. You got a look on your face like you're gassed.
Seriously, that was so creepy.
Scary. It's like a Hans Zimmer score.
Right.
Redux.
Yeah, it's like something from For All Mankind.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't, I'm only in season 2 of For All Mankind. They haven't hit a black hole yet.
Yeah, no, it's going to take a while for them to
Christy,
get there.
did you start that yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, just let me know. Holy cow.
Yeah. Hey, listen, on Monday, speaking of space, NASA is going to blast off a rocket from Cape Canaveral, launch pad 39B, which is famous for the Apollo flights. Sometime it's scheduled around 8:30 in the morning-ish. It's the first time that NASA is committed to sending a vehicle around the orbit of the moon in the hopes that in a year or so, they will land people back on the moon more than 50 years after the fact. So that's super cool as well.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
I feel like it's my perfect opportunity to recommend For All Mankind. I just started watching it. It's produced by Apple.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say it's not for kids because there's not...
No, it's not like,
I just don't know if it'd be interesting for kids.
Not at all.
There's nothing immoral about it.
There's a lot of immorality.
Well, yes, there is a lot of immorality.
Okay, no.
But it's not... it's not a hugely violent or has a lot of sexual content up to this point that I've seen. But boy, it is thought-provoking.
Yeah.
And it is beautifully produced.
The premise is what would happen if the Russians landed successfully on the moon first. And, of course, it's from the 1960s.
How would it change everything?
Yeah, and, of course, it would have changed everything, right? But they didn't, and we were there. However, the heartbreak is we landed there, and the last time we visited the moon, a man on moon, was 1972. Now, when we go back, there's going to be women on moon. There'll be,
dog on moon.
Everybody will be on the moon, which is super cool, right? There it is. Just don't blow it up.
Listen on your smart speaker at wordfm.com, the Word FM app, iHeart, TuneIn, and on Odyssey. In your car or at home, too, at 101.5 WORD-FM, Pittsburgh.
Investments.com.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. 2 men in Michigan are convicted in a high-stakes kidnapping plot.
A jury convicted 2 men of conspiring to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer in 2020, a swift victory for prosecutors. Adam Fox and Barry Croft Jr. were also found guilty of conspiring to obtain a weapon of mass destruction, namely a bomb to blow up a bridge to stymie police if the kidnapping could be pulled off at Whitmer's vacation home. It was a second trial for the pair after a jury in April couldn't reach a unanimous verdict after 5 days. 2 other men were acquitted, and 2 more pleaded guilty and testified for prosecutors. Governor Whitmer is praising the guilty verdicts and warning that violent threats, quote, have no place in our politics. Bernie Bennett reporting.
A 5-year-old girl drowned while attempting to cross the Rio Grande, Winter, Texas. The girl was attempting to cross the river with her mother when the current swept her away. The Dow is down 161 points, the NASDAQ up 23. This is SRN News.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I get those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I think we can all agree that every moment at Eden shaped us and impacted who we are right now.
The faith modeled by teachers at Eden Christian Academy has a profound impact on students' lives.
We carry with us more than the academics, but a strong, Christ-centered foundation.
I would just like to thank my teachers, my mentors, my family members, and my friends who have done the best they could to help me in this next phase of my life.
Eden Christian Academy, enrolling pre-K through 12th grade at EdenChristianAcademy.org.
My 5-year-old nephew was waving his Vorpal sword through the air, making those sounds. Hey, Titus, what are you doing, dude? I'm saving the galaxy, duh. It's Ryan, and the reality is, I feel like our Faith and Family Mortgage team has a galaxy-saving strategy for many families right now. It's not rocket science. The cost of everything is up. Gas, food, vacations, credit card rates. For many, times are tough. But one other thing is crazy up too. The value of our homes have jumped at historical levels, and this is our Vorpal sword. The strategy many are taking is they're cashing out that newfound money in their homes to help fight this inflation, to pay off or consolidate their debt, to do some fun things around the house, and to stash them away for peace of mind. If you'd like to see your options, we are United Faith Mortgage.
United Mortgage Corp, Melville, New York. NMLS number 1330. Pennsylvania Department of Banking and Securities. Mortgage lender license 22672.
You've already heard a lot about the exceptional retirement lifestyles available at St. Barnabas. Here's what you might not know. St. Barnabas is a Christian organization that dates back to 1900. That's when Episcopal monks started the tradition of taking care of those who had no ability to do it themselves. Sure, the campus may have changed a bit over the years, but the mindset is still the same. Think about it. Luxury retirement with like-minded people. Now that's an easy decision. Call St. Barnabas, 724-443-0700.
Mainly clear skies expected for tonight. We'll see fog late at a low of 59. Mostly sunny tomorrow. That fog will lift in the morning. Then it'll be pleasant for the afternoon. We'll reach a high of 82. A starlit sky for tomorrow night with a low of 60. For Thursday, mostly sunny skies and a high of 84. Friday, intervals of clouds and sun with widely separated thunderstorms at a high of 82. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm forecaster Drew Shannon.
Welcome to another edition of The Ride Home with John and Kathy, live from the Salem-Pittsburgh studios. And now here are your hosts, John Hall and Kathy Emmons.
Beautiful day. Absolutely gorgeous outside. The waning days of summer, it feels like, although we've still got a month or so left for summer to walk away.
I'm expecting 2 months.
2 more months?
Yeah, I go right up until third week in October. That's what in my mind.
That's ambitious.
Uh-huh.
All right.
I am ambitious.
Okay. All right, good. I'll take it. All right. Your heart breaks when you see homeless people in the city. You think it's hard to see homelessness. And the fact of the matter is there are still many thousands of people living within the borders of the city of Pittsburgh and many thousands of more outside of the city who do not have a place to call home. So today, the Pittsburgh City Council introduced legislation in an attempt to find immediate solutions to Pittsburgh homelessness issues, including a proposal to build tiny houses on city-owned land.
Tiny houses?
Tiny houses. This is an article from today's Trib from Julia Felton. Pittsburgh Eyes Homelessness Solutions include tiny houses. Council President Teresa Cale Smith and Councilwoman Deb Gross classified homelessness in the city as a, quote, public health emergency, as homeless individuals are left to contend with extreme weather without adequate shelter. So the legislation asked the mayor, the housing authority, and several city departments to address homeless and temporary immediate solutions to the issue. The measure directs the Department of Innovation and Performance and Finance to find 10 parcels of city-owned land with water and sewer connections to places that could be used for tiny home development. 10 parcels of city-owned land with water and sewer that can be developed into affordable housing for rent or ownership, and 10 parcels of city-owned land that could be used as heating or cooling shelters, and 10 parcels of land under the Department of Finance that have structures that could be used for portable or temporary shelter.
Okay, now, does that make any sense?
Well, I don't know what makes sense.
I don't either.
The city has money.
That's my question. Does it make any sense?
The city apparently has money, $56 million in the last 5 years or so, to fund affordable housing and rental assistance initiatives. About $40 million in American Rescue Plan funding has been directed to housing projects and assistance.
Okay. So if we were talking about housing projects, we both love Light of Life, right?
Light of Life, yeah.
Yes.
City Mission in Washington.
City Mission in Washington. Love them.
Excellent work
Right.
that they do, of course.
So if we're talking about diverting funds to those organizations, I'm all behind it.
Well, here's the problem, and this is what people will say. That is not a solution to homelessness because you're only in that shelter to sleep.
Right.
You must leave the shelter during the day
Right.
and then come back at the end of the day.
Right.
So what do you do about the homeless problem? I mean, clearly it's a problem.
Right. But here's those people who work at those organizations,
at those shelters,
are going to be much more informed about what that solution would look like than giving it to a blanket governmental fund and putting up tiny houses. To me, that sounds like a government's quote unquote solution that's going to create more of a problem.
Well, it sounds
because
like
it's only dealing with, I mean, if it was just a matter of shelter, then this would be a much easier problem to solve.
Right.
But it's not.
Well, you're going to create a ghetto.
Right. You've got mental illness, you've got addiction, you've got family dysfunction, you've got pharmaceutical issues, you've got all sorts of things. That's not going to be solved by putting up a bunch of tiny houses on
it's not.
on land that the Pittsburgh government owns.
This goes back to many, many decades whenever places like Kane
closed,
right, mental facilities where people, and it's a hard story to hear.
It is a hard story to hear because that's multifaceted, right?
I mean, people were warehoused.
Yep.
Right, mental illness.
Yes.
People did not see the light of day. But then during the Reagan administration, Ronald Reagan essentially said, tear those places down, throw away the keys. So what you have now is a flood of people who are, as you say, mentally ill, substance abuse issues, any number of things.
And nowhere to go.
Right.
And no wherewithal to come up with a plan. Or, I mean, it's just, and so there.
So you see 10 cities.
Yeah.
Or
sure.
Or downtown, you see, look at downtown. It's void of people working there now, and now you have a homeless problem.
You really do.
Where
I was down there last Sunday, and I was shocked by it.
Yeah, I mean, city government has struggled with this issue.
And at least they're recognizing that it's a public health emergency. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be on the radio being another talking head who acts like they know what they're doing and can propose a better solution.
Because I wish you did.
Because I don't have one, and I wish that, I was educated enough on the issue. But I do know that I think our only way forward is talking to the people who are already invested. And allowing them to speak into it in a way that has much more impact than the people who work in local government.
And it's not just obviously just a Pittsburgh problem. This is a national problem, right? I mean, look at places like Portland,
look at LA, look
New
at
York,
San Francisco,
Miami,
right?
You name it, wherever people gather in urban
Listen,
centers.
I was in Portland probably 9 years, no, maybe more like 8 years ago. And I spent 3 days there. And as a person who'd never been to Portland before, I'm an absolute visitor.
Yeah.
I don't have family there. Nobody's showing me around. I'm literally walking around with like my phone. Like, where should I go next?
Sure.
The homeless problem was overwhelming.
I'm sure it's
to
gotten
me.
worse since then.
Exactly.
I have family that lives in Portland. They're
Yes.
like, get me out of here, right? God help us. It's a big issue. How does
Tiny
the church
houses,
affect
yeah,
this as well?
right.
Because if you've been to a city church, many city churches have resources for homeless population.
Right. So, yeah, let's get some more, attention and funding going in those directions.
Right. All right. We'll take a quick break, and we do come back. This is something we don't talk about enough on our show. We're going to talk about disability justice in the church. Dr. Amy Kenny joins us. She's a disability scholar, and she has got a story to tell. My body is not a prayer request.
101.5 WORD. The Word of God. It's bold, it's direct, it cuts across the grain of popular culture. It illuminates the mind and transforms the soul. Its meaning doesn't change. It applies to everyone, everywhere. Hi, friend, this is John MacArthur, encouraging you to find out what the Bible means by what it says. Join me for clear teaching from God's compelling Word every Monday through Friday, right here on Grace to You. Tomorrow morning at 7 on 101.5 WORD.
MyPillow is having their biggest sheet sale of the year. Hey, this is John Hall. You've all helped build MyPillow into this amazing company. And now, Mike Lindell, inventor and CEO, wants to give back exclusively to his listeners. The Percale bedsheet set is available in a variety of colors and sizes, and they're all on sale. For example, the queen size is regularly priced at $89.98, but is now only $39.98 with our listener promo code. Order now, because when they're gone, they're gone. The Percale sheets are breathable, have a cool, crisp feel. These come with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. There's a limited supply, so be sure to order now. Call 1-800-391-0954. Use promo code WORD. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener square, use the promo code WORD.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Going to a jewelry store for the perfect custom engagement ring is so yesterday. At Mock & Company, your luxury concierge jeweler, your personal designer awaits. Begin the conversation at mockandcojewelry.com. Share ideas over social, email, or text. Get expert advice on metals and stones. Your exact 3D design will be ready within days, and the Monroeville team eager to begin your one-of-a-kind creation. Visit mockandcojewelry.com and book your virtual appointment today.
Are you ready to deepen your faith on a spectacular 9-day Mediterranean cruise? Join Alistair Begg in August 2023 to renew your vision, purpose, and connection with Christ as Alistair powerfully unpacks God's Word. Explore the biblical landscapes Paul encountered as he shared the gospel along breathtaking cliffside villages. Simply call 855-565-5519 or visit deeperfaithcruise.com for all the details.
All of us come from somewhere. All of us have origin stories.
From executive producer Larry Elder
Divine Providence was clearly operating in the lives of Black Americans.
and director Justin Malone.
When I was growing up, we were never taught that America was bad. We were raised to love America.
Comes the continuation of their 2020 hit film, Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom Part 2, An American Odyssey. Pre-order today on Salem Now.
Amy Kenny's with us. Dr. Amy Kenny is a disabled scholar and a Shakespearean lecturer whose research focuses on medical and bodily themes in literature. She's got a brand new book called My Body is Not a Prayer Request, Disability Justice in the Church. Dr. Kenny, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Amy, we haven't talked before, and I'm not sure if our listeners are familiar with your story. So why don't you tell us who you are and how you've gotten to where you are?
Yeah, thanks so much. So I'm a disabled woman. I grew up in and around the church, and I wrote this book as part of my experience with how the church treats disabled people and wanting to invite people to rethink some of their assumptions and really learn what it means to really value disabled people.
Yes. Amy, talk to us about your disability. You're disabled how? And when you go into church, what is that? How does that work or not work for you?
I use a mobility scooter, a wheelchair, and a cane. And often when I go into church, I am immediately approached by people who I think are really well-meaning, but who try to pray me away or give me potions or make recommendations to me to cure my disability. And I've been recommended everything from kale to hit your leg with a hammer. What? Somehow I'm still disabled.
Wow. Okay. So this is hard for me to believe, but you're saying that people just come up to you and randomly give you ideas for how to rid yourself of your disability?
That's right.
Really?
People will just say, "Hi, you're disabled. My cousin was disabled. They did essential oils," and think that that is a substitute for actually knowing someone and knowing anything about whether or not I am happy being disabled or thriving.
Right.
Are you happy being disabled?
I am. Yeah, I have a vibrant and really interesting life that's full of a lot of joy, and just like everyone else, there's hardship in it, but I am a human being created in the image of the divine, and my disabled body radiates God to the world, whether people are ready for it or not.
Yeah, and so you're thriving. I could talk to you for 5 seconds and realize you're thriving. But is your church life thriving, I guess, is my question. So you've already said that, you've had people come up to you and try to give you everything from essential oil to a hammer to quote unquote fix you. How are you still a member of a church, and how have you navigated all of that?
Yeah, it's been really hard because for so long I really worked hard to try to change the spaces I was in and to try to educate folks about disability. And that came with a lot of emotional turmoil, a lot of therapy, and so then transitioned into kind of more of a home church situation of a small group of folks who were more trusted and willing to grow and learn when it comes to ableism and disability and wanted to actually grow. And I think that's the piece that I hope people take from this book is we're all at a different place on the journey, but as long as you want to grow and learn, then hopefully the book has some information for you.
Yes. Now, Amy, I hear you use the word ableism. Please define that. What is ableism exactly?
Ableism is discrimination against disabled folks. And this can be explicit. So often when I go to a building and there's no ramp or there's no restroom I can use, that's ableist practices or architecture. It can also be implicit. So this idea that some body minds are better than others. And, most folks don't say that part out loud, but they will pity me or kind of pat me on the shoulder like I'm a good dog or tell me things in a really condescending way as though I'm not a human with my own gifts to offer the body.
Right. Okay, so then just us or just you first writing the book and then having a conversation on the radio raises awareness about ableism, because I would imagine most people go, well, I'm not an ableist. I accept people who are disabled. Maybe people would say, I'm just awkward, or I'm unsure around people who are disabled. I don't know how to act or what to say. What do you think?
That's absolutely been my experience. Most people are really well-meaning and they want to get it right. They don't have very much experience with disabled folks. And so they say the wrong word, they don't know where to look, they won't look us in the eye, they'll say things that are condescending or rude or harmful, or they'll just make jokes, and often I'm the butt of those jokes. So, what'd you do to the other guy? Or how fast can you go on that thing? Or want to race? And just when you hear that day in and day out, most of those aren't meaning any harm. But the problem is that it refuses to see disabled people as full humans and refuses to really learn from our gifts.
Right. In My Body Is Not a Prayer Request, you say that the hardest part of being disabled is not the pain, it's the people.
Yeah, and I think that surprised a lot of people because a lot of people assume the hardest part is with my body, but it's actually with people. Their assumptions, the way that they treat me, the lack of access, both physical and attitudinal that I receive from folks. And really, we can see in Scripture that disabled people are at the heart of the work that God is doing with humanity.
Mm-hmm. We're talking to Amy Kenny, and the new book is called it's called My Body Is Not a Prayer Request, Disability Justice in the Church. Amy, as you were talking, I was thinking about just posturing. And I don't mean posturing as doing something that's insincere or ineffective. I mean just actual posture. Like, is it frustrating for you that people talk to you when they're standing and you're sitting? Would you prefer that people sat down to talk to you? I mean, I just wonder if that's something that the average person wouldn't think of that might affect your daily life.
That's a great question. That doesn't bother me, but what does bother me is when people's voice goes up 3 pitches to something only dogs and dolphins can hear, or when people, just kind of give me the shoulder slug. Oh, good for you for being out and about, and don't have any context of me or my life, automatically assuming that I'm less than just by virtue of my mobility aid.
That's fascinating.
So I think posture is so important in looking me in the eye, treating me as a human being, and thinking that, you shouldn't assume that you know what my story is just because you see a mobility aid.
Right. Now, Amy, what's fascinating is that you're a PhD, you're a scholar, a Shakespearean scholar, and I'm curious about that, about your love of Shakespeare and how it's integrated in somehow, in your disability. Those two of those things work together, obviously, and you lecture, speak, you write about this on a regular basis.
Well, who doesn't love Shakespeare?
Yes.
Yes. I contain multitudes, and I think it's so important for people to know that I have multiple avenues that I talk about and that I enjoy, and multiple passions, because so often disabled folks are siloed. We are put into a box, and that box is defined by those ableist attitudes we were talking about.
It's interesting. People are now like, there's an awareness here. This is a good awareness, right? Was it Rihanna who produced an album, a couple of weeks ago, and she went and re-edited lyrics from a song because she included the word spaz in the song. And there was backlash. Have you heard about this, Amy?
Yeah, that was Lizzo. What a great example.
Thank you. You're right. So there is an awareness here now. I mean, say what you will about, people are going to talk about wokeism and whatnot, but this is a really positive thing that's happening. Like you're saying, your day-to-day existence, people look at you as invisible or someone to be pitied or someone who doesn't have the ability to be in the world. And now, so this whole era, maybe there is hope for all of us, people who are not walking in your shoes, so to speak.
I agree. I have so much hope. Lizzo is setting the example for the church, and what a great example of how we can mess up and we get to grow together. We're not all going to get it perfect. We're not all going to know the right words or what to say or do, and that's okay. And as long as we are willing to own when we've gotten it wrong and move forward together, we can create enough space where we all get to thrive.
Yeah.
My Body is Not a Prayer Request, Disability Justice in the Church. We're talking to author Dr. Amy Kenny. Amy, so you're going to show up at my church on Sunday. What would be helpful for you? How would we welcome you? How would we honor what you need without making you feel less than?
That's a great question. I think treating me as a human being, asking me what my needs are, what access needs that I have that day that can be help met, and then believe me when I answer. Too often, people are trying so hard that they either just assume and then, create sort of more problems, or they don't want to ask at all because they are afraid it'll be offensive, and then I'm just kind of isolated and left to discover it on my own. So I think ask disabled people and then listen when we share the wisdom of our lived experience.
Mm-hmm. What about from the pulpit? I mean, I got to be honest. I mean, you don't hear the church, especially from the pulpit, talking about disability. And of course, there's disability all over the Bible. I mean, it's there's parables, there's stories. What's your take on that, Amy?
Yeah, disabled people are 26% of the U.S. population and 15% of the global population. So we are all impacted by disability and ableism, whether we know it or not. And we're also the only marginalized group that you can join at any time. So you may become disabled by either age or accident. And it's really important for us to talk about it in every facet of our lives, particularly in faith communities, right from the pulpit. The way that we interpret Scripture and how we talk about it is really important to making sure disabled people are beloved.
Good. Yeah. In My Body's Not a Prayer Request, Amy, you show your humor. It's a razor wit that you have, and I'm sure, despite the things that make you angry about it, you're also able to look at the ridiculousness of it all. Because I don't know how you exist, without seeing us, looking at the abled people who are abled, and sort of downgrading people who are disabled. We do look like a ridiculous lot, don't we?
Well, your words. But I wanted to include some levity in the book so that people can read it and not be shamed, because that would never be my goal, but also because it's such heavy material that, if I don't laugh, then it's going to really get into me and cause me to be bitter and angry. And I don't think either of those things smell like Jesus.
Dr. Amy Kenny, check out the new book, My Body is Not a Prayer Request, Disability, Justice in the Church. Well, Amy, I would love for you to come to my church sometime.
That's really good. Very good.
And I'll do my best not to be insulting and to be helpful. And hopefully we can have patience with each other as we figure it out.
Yeah, that sounds great.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. This is an important topic. And
thanks, Amy. Hey, you're welcome back. Let's
we can talk about
on.
Shakespeare next time.
Very nice.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for having me.
Our pleasure. My Body is Not a Prayer Request, Disability, Justice in the Church. Dr. Amy Kenny's been with us.
You could do a soliloquy, and then she could rate it.
The most beautiful things in life start small, from a single seed. At Bedner's Farm and Greenhouse, with the aid of warm sun, fertile soil, and expert hands, those seeds blossom into gardens of fresh produce, delicious wines, and beautiful landscapes. Here at Bedner's Thriving Family Farm and Garden Center, you'll find everything you need to inspire your own homegrown happiness. Bedner's Farm and Greenhouse in McDonald, making the world beautiful since 1917 at bednersgreenhouse.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code VALUE at checkout. That's harrys.com, code VALUE. Enjoy!
To serve as a ruling elder is a high and holy office. RPTS now offers 5 flexible online courses to help you shepherd the Church of God. The Ruling Elders program features courses on biblical counseling, interpretation, worship, the church, care and administration, plus preaching and elective options that best fit your ministry paradigm. No papers, no exams, just solid biblical teaching from experienced pastor professors. Individual and group rates available. RPTS, study under pastors. Learn more at rpts.edu.
In marriage, life has a way of pulling you apart. But Family Life's Weekend to Remember Marriage Getaway helps you come back together.
Hey.
Join us in Pittsburgh, September 23rd through the 25th, or in Akron, October 14th through the 16th.
Got us a lot closer together.
Register today and save 50% through September 19th at weekendtoremember.com.
Ask Alexa to play the word Pittsburgh to hear us there. We're on your Google speaker too, plus iHeart, TuneIn, and on Odyssey. 101.5 WORD-FM, Pittsburgh.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Wiggins, a teacher in Gilmore City Bradgate School District in Iowa. Thanks to a science, technology, engineering, and math grant sponsored by Bear Fund, we renovated an old locker room into a monarch butterfly incubator, providing students with access to innovative technology that engages and inspires them. I encourage farmers to nominate a school district to apply for a $15,000 Grow Rural Education grant by visiting americasfarmers.com.
Mainly clear skies expected for tonight. We'll see fog late and a low of 59. Mostly sunny tomorrow. That fog will lift in the morning. Then it'll be pleasant for the afternoon. We'll reach a high of 82. A starlit sky for tomorrow night with a low of 60. For Thursday, mostly sunny skies and a high of 84. Friday, intervals of clouds and sun with widely separated thunderstorms at a high of 82. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm forecaster Drew Shannon.
Does this make sense?
Does what make sense?
Toys that talk.
Oh. Well, I see where you're going here, but to be honest, I kind of like toys that talk. I've got a parrot in my office. It's got a little button. You press it and it says stuff. I mean, didn't you like it when your kids had
Nope.
Really?
Not a single time ever did I like that.
Because, how about did you ever have a doll that talked?
Yep.
You pull the string and it would
Chatty
say,
Cathy?
Yeah, say different phrase.
Like I didn't suffer with that, having the same name growing up.
Oh, right. No, I think that makes perfect sense. I like toys that talk. Yeah, because it's always surprising. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't understand where you're coming from here.
What?
It's one of the worst ideas. I actually think it could be. It could be part of the human demise. It's that
Come on now.
drastic of a problem.
Okay, so we've got when my kids were younger, they found one of those talking dolls.
And all of a sudden you felt like you were in a Stephen King movie?
They took it apart, and inside was a tiny little record.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, that had all the
So
phrases.
it wasn't a tiny little demon?
No.
Okay.
I mean, the engineering was super cool, right? So did your kids have talking?
If somebody who wasn't my husband or I bought it for them, and then I would find a way to drown it in water or hit it with a hammer.
Oh, just disappear.
It was over. Because you know why?
Mm.
Talking toys don't make sense.
All right, does this make sense? Ironing. Okay, now.
Yeah.
Here's the deal.
Yes, it's good, John.
Pre-pandemic, every morning I would iron a dress shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Now, since the pandemic, twice I've ironed something.
Wow.
Just twice.
Just twice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I like a crisp shirt.
Yeah.
But I have no desire to. I mean, my mother used to have a mangle. She would iron everything. She'd iron my father's underwear. She was committed to ironing that much. Ironing? When's the last time you ironed something?
Just the other day.
Hey.
Only because I bought a new dress and it was folded in, the folds were weird.
Right, sure.
And I had to get rid of those. But just that day, someone said to me, if you had a steamer.
A steamer, yeah, of course.
Then you'd never have to iron that.
I'm not so sure about it. Have you had a steamer?
No, I never have.
Yeah, I've had a steamer.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You're not a fan?
No,
you don't think that makes sense?
I didn't think it did, no.
Now you're introducing a third element into this segment.
I like the iron.
Okay.
In this day and age, very few people need to iron.
Right. I'm leaning towards ironing does not make sense.
I'm leaning towards it does make sense because you like to look crisp and clean.
Yeah, I thought you were starting out saying it didn't make sense.
I've changed my mind.
But you can't change your mind in the segment.
It's my segment. Ironing makes sense.
101.5 WORD.
Everywhere you go, anywhere you go, Word FM goes with you.
That's because we're no longer trapped inside a radio.
We're now everywhere you are, and you carry us around in your pocket.
We're ubiquitous.
There's an app for that, right?
On TuneIn, on iHeart, on our own app, on wordfm.com.
The iPhone. The iPhone.
The iPhone.
The iPhone. On your iPad, iPhone, and Android. We're always with you because we're inside your pocket.
Whatever you do, don't lose us.
101.5 WORD.
What if you went from 10 years old to 25 years old in just a few years?
Okay, Ms. Creepy.
Like from let's play dolls to I can't believe the stock market today.
Or like triple mac and cheese, please, to I'd like the triple double kale salad with beets, please.
Uncle Ryan says the value of people's homes have jumped like 15 years worth, lickety-split.
Uncle Ryan said lickety-split?
Most of our homes have made a decade or two type jump in value. Pretty much lickety-split, like never before. Usually, people move homes when they gain that much value. But that's not happening either because of how expensive homes are, which is why cash-out refinances are a triple mac and cheese hot thing right now. Cashing out that newly spiked value to use for home updates, paying off debt, or just life. If you'd like to see your options, you'll never get any pressure from us at United Faith Mortgage.
United Mortgage Corp, Melville, New York. NMLS number 1330. Pennsylvania Department of Banking and Securities. Mortgage lender license 22672.
When Big Mobile charges you an arm and a leg, they're taking your money and your power. And your arm and leg. Boost Mobile gives your power back with an unlimited plan for $25 a month on one of America's largest 5G networks. We can't give you back your arm and your leg because we're not qualified surgeons. Unless you're an iguana who can grow limbs back. Switch to Boost and get an unlimited plan for $25 a month. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power. New customers only. One line, $25 per month with auto pay. Additional restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com for details.
When you're in college, sleep is important, but thanks to your studies and busy schedule, you might not be getting as much rest as you need. That old mattress you've had since you were a kid, though, it's just not cutting it. Upgrade your sleep experience with a locally made, hand-built mattress from the Original Mattress Factory. We offer a variety of mattresses, including twin extra long, to suit every comfort preference and to fit every budget. And we deliver right to you. Visit an OMF store near you or go to originalmattress.com to learn more.
Now that I've got your attention, let me tell you all about us. Whoa, tough crowd. Anybody out there? Hello? Anyone?
Fighting to be heard in today's competitive digital world?
It's time for Salem Surround. Let us handle everything and get your message seen and heard.
Let's turn up the volume on your business with Salem Surround.
Learn more by logging on to surroundpittsburgh.com. Surroundpittsburgh.com.
About a decade or so ago, my wife and I were walking alone. We were on vacation, and a couple approached us, and they had this look of amazement. They were like slack-jawed. Like, the guy said to me, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe what I'm looking at. You are the spitting image of my uncle." And I was like, what? Okay. Yeah, I was kind of like thrown. But, I mean, seriously, the guy looked at me like I was a mannequin in a store window. He could not believe who he took my picture, a total stranger.
Because he couldn't believe that you weren't related to his uncle somehow.
Right.
Because you looked so much alike.
We were the same. To him, it was like, we were one and the same. So there's a book out by a Canadian artist, and it's called "I'm Not a Lookalike," and it is a series of portraits of people who are doppelgangers. There are people in this world who look like you, who look like me. There are people who are, our twin somewhere out there walking around. And I'm looking at this article in today's Times where they show people, random people who have come together for this project. I'm telling you, when you see these photographs, it's shocking. Now, here's the weird thing. In a study published, they look at these 32 pairs of lookalikes, and they took DNA tests and questionnaires about their lifestyles. The researchers used facial recognition software to quantify the similarities between these participants. 16 of those 32 people who were paired off achieved similar overall scores to identical twins analyzed by the same software.
No way. No way.
How can that even be?
Are they related?
The researchers then compared the DNA of these 16 pairs of doppelgangers to see if the DNA was similar as their faces, and they found that the 16 pairs were true lookalikes. They shared significantly more of their genes than the other 16 pairs that the software deemed less similar. So yeah.
So no, wait. So they shared more DNA than what was the other group?
It's 32 people were very similar.
Okay.
And then they broke down the DNA. Half of those people shared similar DNA.
That's so weird.
It's crazy.
So, but they're not. I'm not sure what the term related then means. So they're not related. They're not related. They're not related.
DNA alone doesn't tell the whole story of our makeup. Okay. Our lived experiences and those of our ancestors influence which of our genes are switched on and off, what scientists call our epogenes, and our microbiome, our microscopic co-pilot made up of bacteria, fungi, and viruses, is further influenced by the environment, which forms people the way they are. So in the mass and the mix, the swirl of humanity, those fungi, viruses, genes, DNA create close similarities to who I am and to who you are. There are people out there that share similarities in the DNA and the funguses and the viruses, and which so happens to mold very closely to who we are as people. That's weird.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Okay, we talked about this before on the show one time. Christy, who do people tell you look like?
The girl from Parks and Rec.
I can't even think of her name.
Oh, April.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
that's very true.
Yeah. Has anyone ever told you, John, that you look like somebody famous?
Well, when I
Well,
was...
you were a body double for Alan Rickman. So from behind, you look very much like Alan Rickman.
Right. When I was younger, I would always get, and you look like Mel Gibson. I was like, what? I don't...
Really?
Yeah. Now I just
Okay.
look like an old guy.
Okay, that's not true.
I look like every other old guy out
Right,
there.
that's not Here's the thing, though. It's not even about sometimes how people look. It's some of their mannerisms
Right.
that really remind you of somebody else.
Right.
It's shocking.
What do you get?
Helen Hunt.
Uh-huh.
Now, my hair's really curly because it's summer, and
Yeah.
you wouldn't think. But when my hair is straighter in winter, I get it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I bet I've gotten it 100 times.
Okay, so then imagine that, you look similar too, but the idea that there's that, somebody approaches you.
Are Helen Hunt and I, do we share some DNA? I don't think I look that much like her. I think it's more my mannerisms that somehow...
Your eyes.
make me look like her, which I think is a wonderful compliment because I love Helen.
I have to throw this out there.
Okay.
I was just talking to my friend about this today. She looks like Italia Ricci from Designated Survivor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Look exactly alike.
First of all, that's a high compliment.
Really?
Yeah. So, and the weird thing is, they both got their hair cut at the same time and got the most similar haircut.
Get out of here.
And my friend does not have social media. I literally showed her. She sent me a picture of her haircut, and I showed her, and I was like, "You guys got the same haircut."
That's crazy. Huh.
It's
That's
weird.
so weird.
It's so weird.
Okay, Q, it's a small world after all.
No, because then I'm going to want to...
I mean, imagine. I mean, there are billions and billions of people on this planet, right? I mean, I know that we're all individuals, but you would think that, that possibility truly does exist. I mean, I'm telling you, when that guy approached me a decade ago, he was dumbfounded.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? So people are out there who look like us. I like it.
Okay. Washington Post.
Yeah.
An article on the most changed baby names. Okay, so
what do you mean?
So some of them are parents changing the names that they've given to their kids, but most of them are adults who are changing the names that their parents gave to them. Okay, they don't like their name.
Oh.
And so they're changing their name.
Oh, you meet people like that. Like I went to high school with a guy. His name was Mike. Mm-hmm. And then later on I met him after 10 years after high school, he changed his name to Manny. And I was like, what happened there? But
what did he say?
He said, he's Greek.
Okay.
He said, I'm more, familiar around my family as Manny, not Mike.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, I had a friend who, the name was Bijan. He was of Middle Eastern descent.
Bijan.
Uh-huh.
Remember Bijan, the designer?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
He changed his name to Dave.
I kind of like Bijan a lot.
Right. I know. We all said
Dave.
that. All of us. We
Why
all
did
said
he change
that.
his name?
He said he spent his whole life with people not being able to pronounce his name or not looking at his name and going, "What? What's his name?"
Oh, really?
And finally, he was like, "Forget it."
Dave.
Dave.
Didn't get that wrong.
Yeah, Dave. So in the Washington Post article today, it details a couple of the first two. One is a man's name and one is a woman's name that are most changed.
Okay.
But it's first of all, it's Isaac and Chloe. Those are the two most changed names. Isaac for men, Chloe for women.
Really?
But the reason they're changed is because they were misspelled initially.
Oh.
So their parents named Isaac Issac.
Yeah.
And the true spelling of Isaac is Isaac.
Oh.
And so they've just changed, they've kind of corrected their parents' bad spelling.
I see, okay.
Chloe is Chole.
Uh-huh.
Cole.
CHLOE.
Right, as opposed to CHLOE.
Look, Christy's pointing to herself. What, did this happen in your life?
I mean, look how my name is spelled. There's no H in my name.
No, there isn't.
My name is spelled very weird.
But isn't that because your parents wanted it?
No, I was named after Christy Brinkley, who has an H. She has an H in her name.
So,
Uptown Girl.
So you were named after the Uptown Girl, but your parents spelled it wrong?
Correct.
I love it. That's awesome. Okay, now here's another thing. The number 3 most changed name on the list is a male name, Aiden, Aiden.
Uh-huh.
But the data is showing that people are not changing Aiden because they don't like the spelling, as with the first two. It's that it was a trendy name, but it's falling rapidly in the ranks of most popular names, and so they're changing it for something else.
To what?
Sebastian.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, because Sebastian is on the rise. So Sebastian is a name that's like really trendy.
Really?
So people are dropping Aiden and picking up Sebastian. Now, again, it's kind of like my friend Beige and Dave. Those names don't have a whole lot to do with each other. Mike and Manny, that's at least close.
Right.
Like you're
Sebastian.
You're just doing a whole different
thing.
thing.
That's a heavy mantle to put on a kid,
isn't it? I like Sebastian a lot.
Sebastian. What do you think of?
Sebastian Maniscalco and then the crab.
I think of Sebastian Cabot.
Who's that?
He was like the au pair in a 1960s sitcom, Family Affair. Remember?
No, I never saw
Cabot.
Family Affair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I like that name a lot.
Sebastian.
Here are other names that are being changed as of 2022. Connor, Elliot, and I wonder if Elliot is because of spelling too. I'm not sure.
E-L-L?
E-L-L-I-O-T, but maybe some people spelled it E-L-I-O-T-T or something.
I don't understand. So you would get so upset people misspelling your name, you would change your entire name?
No, they're saying they would just fix the spelling. So Chloe, the C-H-O-L-E people, are changing it to C-H-L-O-E.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Other Michael. Now, what's strange is that Michael pops up on the other list of names most picked up. So people who've dropped their name are picking up Michael. So people are dropping and picking up Michael in the same proportion. I don't understand. Other most changed names, according to the Washington Post, James, Isabella, Sophia, and David.
Do you like your name?
I mean, it's fine. I mean, I really wanted to be Linda when I was 5.
Linda?
I remember being upset with my parents that they didn't name me Linda, and they were like, we never even considered Linda. So
that's funny. We were on the Gateway Clipper last week, and I was walking around, and I was talking to 2 Donnas.
Okay.
Donna and Donna were there.
Okay.
And I said, I've got a sister named Donna. And they were like, well, that's from a very particular time frame.
Right. You don't hear any Donnas now.
And Linda, I would think also is the same thing.
Right.
I've got another sister named Linda.
Right. That's kind of funny, right?
Right.
I was either going to be Kristen or Kathleen.
Mm-hmm.
But I was named after I'll Take You Home Again, Kathleen, the song.
Really?
Yes, and there's my mom's middle name, coincidentally. Or not coincidentally. Maybe it wasn't a coincidence at all.
Kristen. Which would be, imagine having Christy and Kristen. That'd be very confusing.
The John and Kristen show.
No, it'd be
Except the Floyd and Kristen show.
Listen, I kind of wish I was named Floyd.
Why?
It's such an odd name.
It is.
How many Floyd? Can you name one Floyd?
Yes.
Floyd who?
It's a guy I used to know.
You knew Floyd?
Yeah, he went to church with me.
Really?
I went to church with him.
The only Floyd I can think of is Floyd Merriweather.
Oh, sure.
Or Floyd the Barber, of course, from Andy Griffith.
Oh, okay.
Which you've never watched.
Which I've never seen.
I can't believe that. He's an iconic character.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Andy Griffith, Christy?
Yes.
The TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never have.
I can't believe
I know.
You would love that show. You who loved, the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Which is great.
Yes.
So great.
Andy Griffith. I mean, it plays all over America all day, every day, around the world. And Andy Griffith is...
You know what? Speaking of, here's one thing I never, ever do. I mean, never. I haven't done this in a decade. I never turn on the TV just to see what's on. Like, I never flip channels. I never ever do that.
It's probably going by the wayside, don't you think?
Well, do you guys do that?
Yeah, I do. I graze.
I don't have cable.
Oh,
okay.
I'm surprised you're not ripping it off.
So you think grazing is going by the...
Well, yeah, because people... I mean, look, my kid bought a TV set to take to college with him.
Yep.
He bought a smart TV.
Yeah.
It doesn't have broadcast channels.
Right.
So that's where we are right now. I mean, broadcast is going to go away. Unless you have, remember, the rise of the rabbit ears are coming back again.
Yeah, I understand. The rabbit ears are on their return.
Yeah, sometimes I have my favorite channels that I would like. We're going to lose cable eventually because who cares?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot on there that's just unnecessary.
A lot on there. 99% of what's on there is unnecessary, right?
Yeah, but sometimes I go, oh, what's that?
I just want... So I've dropped cable. This is our 3rd month without cable.
And how is it?
Fine, because I picked up an internet TV service, Fubo.
And
it's fine. It's great. It's no problem.
What about sports?
It's because it's good in sports. So any sport you can see on Fubo.
As bad as they are you watching Pirate Baseball?
Yes, every
on
night.
Fubo?
Yes,
really?
on Fubo every night.
What are you paying?
Can see the horror of it. I think Fubo is $49 plus plus fees and taxes. So I think it ends up to be $59.
That's pricey.
$59,
That's
yeah.
pricey.
Yeah, you can get Sling TV for maybe $40, but you don't get as many sports channels with Sling. And sports is the only thing I wanted to watch, so I picked Fubo.
$50 a month.
Yeah, but here's
Plus.
the good thing. No contract. You're not boxed in on anything. So if I decide I want to cancel Fubo tomorrow, I can do it and switch to something else.
Okay, so you're watching Fubo, and you have what else you have? You have a Netflix.
Oh, I have Netflix.
There you go.
I have Prime. I have Hulu. And I have HBO.
So what's that adding up to? $100?
More than that. Oh no, probably 100. No, it's probably 100.
So
you're
it's
right.
kind of like what you're paying with cable.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot like that. Except I had cable plus I still had those streaming services.
Okay.
So I'm only saving when I dropped cable and picked up $30 a month, maybe.
Plus you're paying for internet.
Right. But I was paying for internet before.
Yeah.
So I'm only saving $30 a month.
It's very complex, isn't
it?
When
When I dropped cable, I felt so good about myself, and then I did the math, and I was like, well, I'm not really saving all that much.
It's kind of funny. We're in the same building as the cable company, aren't we? Right?
Wish we could
What are they
talk.
called now? They're not. They've changed their name like 5 times.
I don't know.
Well, it's called something else now.
Effective TV.
There you go. Because you see the guy.
I would like my TV to be effective.
The parking spaces downstairs. The bigwigs have their own little spaces. Effective TV.
I think that's what it was called.
Or Effect.
Oh, maybe Effect.
It's on the front of the building. Think I pay attention? This is gigantic letters.
We're inside the building.
Right. All right. We'll be back in a sec.
There's still time for business owners to claim their federal aid under the Employee Retention Tax Credit Program. Cash refunds of up to $26,000 per employee are available for employers who continue to pay their employees during the COVID epidemic. Many businesses qualify and simply do not know it. All business types and industries may qualify. You can claim the credit even if you received a PPP loan. This is a cash payment and not a loan and can be claimed now. The licensed CPAs and tax professionals at Ferguson, Timar & Associates have been serving business owners across the country for over 15 years. The best part is that until you receive your cash payment, you don't pay us a dime. Our tax credit specialists are available now at 833-ERC-FILE, and your tax payment estimate is quick, easy, and free. That's 833-ERC-FILE to qualify you and your business for up to $26,000 per employee of free federal aid. Call us now at 833-ERC-FILE. That's 833-ERC-FILE. The
IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS alone. If you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You've already heard a lot about the exceptional retirement lifestyles available at St. Barnabas. Here's what you might not know. St. Barnabas is a Christian organization that dates back to 1900. That's when Episcopal monks started the tradition of taking care of those who had no ability to do it themselves. Sure, the campus may have changed a bit over the years, but the mindset is still the same. Think about it. Luxury retirement with like-minded people. Now that's an easy decision. Call St. Barnabas, 724-443-0700.
It's time to say good night to that check engine light with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free, so you can drive with peace of mind. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
We are everywhere. On your radio at 101.5 WORD-FM Pittsburgh, at wordfm.com, the Word FM mobile app, iHeart, TuneIn, and Odyssey.
Celebrity birthdays today. Oh, I've got 2 for you, John, and have a little musical selection with each one. So, Christy, give us the first.
Oh, I know this right away.
What's that, John?
That's the theme song from the 1960s space-themed movie, or rom-com, I Dream of Jeannie.
Mm-hmm. Barbara Eden's birthday is today.
Barbara Eden, boy.
Yeah.
I Dream of Jeannie was at the height of Space Mania. So I'm saying like on television, 1965, 66, 67.
Okay.
You're asking me how today's her birthday?
Yep.
She's old. She's really old. She's really old. I mean, what schoolboy, what man in America did not have a crush?
Did everybody just love her?
Oh, my gosh. When she popped out of that bottle, you thought, that was like your fantasy. This girl in a bottle? What, are you kidding me? I mean, it would never fly today. I Dream of Jeannie. What's her name?
Barbara Eden.
Barbara Eden. Thank you. She's 90.
She's 91.
Holy smokes. She's still kicking.
She is 91.
Go Barbara Eden.
Go Barbara Eden. How about that? Okay, the next one, Christy.
Oh, that's Rick Springfield.
Mm-hmm.
That's a horrible song. That's a horrible song.
That's not a horrible song. I like
Come
it.
on, wait a second. It's a guy like creeping on.
No, it's not. No. I went back and looked at the lyrics after the last time. No, it's not. If you went back.
No, and I just know they're doing it. I mean, it's like it's creepy.
No.
It is. You know it is. Okay, that's an old song.
Okay.
That's probably from like late 70s, early 80s. 80s.
Remember, he was on a General Hospital.
Rick Springfield. Yeah, of course, he was a big star.
I never watched General Hospital, but I remember
I did.
Did
Do you remember him?
Yes, I do.
Yep.
Rick Springfield is 69.
73.
Oh.
So he was older than you thought when he was longing for Jesse's girl.
It all worked out in the end.
I
don't
think
you
it did.
Yeah,
I think it did.
All right, celebrity birthdays. Barbara Eden and Rick Springfield. Happy birthday to you guys. Anyway, that's our show for the day. Thanks for being with us. And we'll see you tomorrow, God willing. Have a good night.
The Ride Home with John and Kathy, a production of Salem Media Group.